back here with a demonstration called Cities Unlocked. And I'm here with colleagues from the Microsoft subsidiary in the UK. It's Jarnail Chudge standing here with me, and also Andrei Ermilov and Brad Cotier. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Hi, Jarnail.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Good. So I understand the Cities Unlocked project is an interesting project that helps visually impaired people, and it's also been an interesting experience because it's a kind of wide collaboration between different partners. Can you tell us a little bit more, please?
Sure. It started actually a few years ago when a colleague of ours, Amos Miller, who's blind and a guide dog owner, trustee of the Guide Dogs organisation, was really helping them understand how technology could enable them to scale and transform. We ran a workshop a few years ago, and one of the themes that emerged from that workshop was around mobility and independence. And that really led to the work that we're now demoing. But in between, as you can imagine, there's been a lot of different pieces that needed to come together. We produced an initial concept video that showed how technology could help people become more independent, more mobile, and really do the things that we as sighted people perhaps take for granted. That then led to the formation of a partnership between ourselves and Guide Dogs and Future Cities Catapult, which is a government-funded organisation. So on the face of it, we've got three very different organisations coming together around a shared aim, each with their different perspectives, but sufficient areas of overlap and commonality to really drive this project forward. Mm-hmm. One of the experiences that we developed over the course of the last year and announced a few months ago involved a person with sight loss making a journey from a house in Reading, which is where Microsoft is headquartered, all the way into London. But that involved them leaving their house in a part of suburbia. It's quiet, it's safe, it's a cul-de-sac. And from there, very quickly, within the space of a couple of 100 yards, having to cross roads, deal with intersections, travel on buses, make their way into the centre of town. From there, navigate their way to the station, make their way in and through the station onto the platform and take the train into London Paddington. And then somewhere along the line, they also stopped off and did a little bit of shopping. Now, in order to enable all of those experiences, we worked very closely with Reading Borough Council, who generously gave us access to all of the physical space and the infrastructure that we needed. We worked very closely with Reading Buses, who enabled us to equip their buses with beacons so that we could detect when a bus came within range and informed the person that it was just around the corner, for example. And likewise with Network Rail, who gave us fantastic access to the to Reading train station. And then with Tesco as well.
Very interesting. And I understand on the Microsoft side, it was a collaboration not just with you and your immediate team, but with other partners as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and this is one of those unique projects in many ways that has brought the different parts of the organisation together in a way which I think has enabled us to bring together the capabilities and skills that reside inside Microsoft and really deliver this fantastic experience. We've had fantastic help with colleagues from Microsoft Research and right across the organisation from literally every division inside Microsoft. We've been very fortunate in that regard.
Okay, that sounds like a very interesting collaboration with great outputs as well. But one question I have, you were mainly addressing this at visually impaired people. Would this benefit a general community as well?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've established is that by working with people with sight loss, who are typically often unaccounted for when it comes to designing experiences, what we've done is we've approached it in a very human-centric way, in a very empathetic way from a design perspective, and really thought hard about how these technologies, these experiences could be applied across a broad range of scenarios and not just limited to people with sight loss. So I think the broad applicability and the universal design aspect of it has been one of the mainstays of this project.
Very interesting. So I can't wait to really see a hands-on demo. Thank you very much, Jarnail. So Brad, Andrei, do you...
Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna first just show you a demo on the sound. So one of the technologies that we looked at is the spatialized sound. Is actually one of the most important things for visually impaired when they go out and about. Is they use sounds to position themselves in the environment. So we looked at this, and actually with the help of Ivan Tashev, as Jarnail mentioned, they've done a lot of research on this, and they've actually managed to create an engine that simulates sound coming from outside of your head, even though you're just wearing a pair of headphones. So just a little bit on the background, this works because our brain is capable of placing 3D sounds, even though we only have 2 ears. So that's just a combination of the inner ear and the outer ear, and also the distance of the sounds. So, for example, if a sound is coming from the right, it will first hit your right ear and then the left ear, and your brain kind of looks at frequencies and understands where that sound is coming from. So their research has been exactly on that, and they've managed to create a program, an application that can do that on the fly. So we've got that code from them, and in their laboratory they have all of this set up, and they're using very powerful machines to make all of this 3D sound work. But what we've done actually is take all of that computational power and make it just run on this phone. So now we have all of that technology portable on this phone, and so this enables us to let users go out and about, go in a city, and just have the spatialized sound to give them an understanding of the environment. So this demo, what it's going to do, I'm going to have to use these headphones here. See if you can. So what this will do, this will place a music and also a voice in the space around you. So that sound will always come from a certain direction in this room. So you will be able to turn around, turn your head, and you will hear that coming as if it's being simulated outside of your environment. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
That's okay?
Thank you.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to start playing a music. So you should start hearing the music. And now when I turn the phone around, you should hear it moving around you. So it's always coming from outside of your head. So it gives you kind of this impression that actually a sound is coming from somewhere else. And then I can add a voice as well. And now you should hear a person talking to you as well. So this kind of simulates a real environment, and we use this a lot in our navigation because it can tell you information that you don't even have to explain exactly where it's coming from. The sound tells that. So if it's a coffee around you, it just comes from that location, so you know exactly that is where I need to go, or that is the point of interest that I'm looking for. So this is kind of the 3D demo. It takes a while to kind of understand how it works, but once you get the understanding, then you can actually go around and place objects around you. So the next demo, I'm actually going to hand over to Brad. So he's going to show how we've taken this headset and we've used it for navigation purposes.
So Brad, I understand there is a second part of the demo that you will show me later on?
Yeah, sure. So if you may have noticed that when Andrei did the demo there, that he was twisting the phone to give the impression of spatialized sound. That's because the direction the sound was coming from was based on where the phone was pointing. Now, it wouldn't be a very natural use of the technology to be walking along the street holding a phone out in front of you. So what we've done is we've taken a commercially available headset. This is called an Aftershocks headset. And we've worked with the Nokia design team in London to put a box of tricks onto the back here. And we've actually embedded a compass into the back of this headset, so that when you're wearing the headset and you turn your head, compass readings are passed down to the phone. And that means we actually play the sound to you relative to where you're looking, not relative to where you're pointing a phone. So it's a much more natural way of sort of using the technology. So the headset works in conjunction with the phone. It talks Bluetooth down to the phone. So while we're doing this, we have to keep them quite close together. But basically, if I ask you to put on the headset, and we're going to give you a blindfold, and we're going to give you the cane, and we're just going to walk a little route here, and then I'll hold the phone just to keep it nearby.
Wow, awesome. That's a great plan. I'd love to try it out.
Okay, so we've got the blindfold on, and you have the cane. Now, the headset that we've put onto your head now, this is a bone-conducting headset. And the idea of that is that it's placed in front of the ears and not over the ears. And the sound is actually transmitted through the bone. And this is particularly important for visually impaired people, because as well as being able to hear the sound from the technology, they need to be able to hear ambient sound as well. So what you can probably hear at the moment is a kind of a pantomime horse sound, a clippity-clop. This is the course navigation sound that we use to navigate people. And the idea of that is it should be hinting to you in a spatialized way that it's sort of coming from a certain direction. And if you start to turn in that direction, then when you're pretty much bang on where we need you to go, you'll hear an additional sound, a kind of a ping, ping. And when you hear that, that means go straight forwards. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just going to take a little walk along the corridor, and you'll probably need to take my elbow, just so we don't crash into anything, and off we go.
To your right, 10 steps away is the Corée.
Oh, there's something.
The coffee bar is down the hall past the Grand Blue on your left.
So Brad, thank you very much for sharing the Cities Unlocked project with us. It was a very exciting demonstration. And we are going back to the live set now.